Welcome to another edition of 42 Straight Years In. On my crackhead update, I was in the West End. Yesterday, I gave a guy a ride to the West End. So I parked at the 7-Eleven, got out and walked around a little bit. So chick walked up to me. She said, "That's your car?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Yeah, I gotta find me a rapper. I gotta find me a man, so I got a car like yours. I need me a rapper. I'm supposed to be riding around in a Rolls Royce." I said, "You got it like that?" She said, "You can't tell?" I said, "They got some Arapaho Indians up there in Oklahoma. I think they got a Arapaho Indian reservation. Yeah, you might can go up there and find you a rapper." She said, "No, man, I need a real rapper, man." She said, "Because I'm about my money." Now, she looked like a busted Pillsbury Doughboy can with a $2 Dollar General weave on her head. And this lady looked bad as hell. She young, but she looked bad. So I left her to finding her rapper. That's my crackhead update. Y'all know what it is. Get your shanks out and let's ride. This is an article on this video is about brutality under the new system with Texas prison guards. They had missed the beat. They got rid of inmate guards, and the guards started the same thing, brutality. Now this goes to show you was no need for gangs. Where was the gang members at when all this shit is going on? We don't see no gang members nowhere in sight. They too busy killing each other instead of the people who really brutalize them. They don't even bother those people. See, the Texas prison system is reverting to the bad old days when guards brutalized and murdered prisoners with impunity. This story is just breaking and facts are hard to come by. Four Texas prisoners are involved in an internal affair probe in which 30 guards are being investigated for organized criminal conduct at the McConnell unit in Beeville, Texas. A group of guards known as the Blue Bandanas severely beat 25-year-old Willie Jones on November the 24th for mouthing off to a guard. Two of the guards involved in the Jones beating, Rodolfo Rodriguez and Damian Contreras, were indicted a few days ago by a B County grand jury on charges of aggravated assault, retaliation, and tampering with the witness. The charge of tampering stemmed from the guards' effort to threaten two other guards into giving false statements about what happened. One guard was fired, Rodriguez, and the other resigned, Contreras. Both are free on $25,000 bond. Both were members of the Blue Bandanas, a loosely organized group of guards who derived their name from the color of the bandanas they carried to let the inmates know they had unity. The latest case represents the fourth pending investigation involving allegations of organized criminal conduct on the part of corrections officers using excessive force in attacks on targeted inmates. The targeted inmates mean, but the targeted inmates means to them, who they consider targeted inmates. In other words, you piss one of them off, and you wasn't well known around that prison, you was going to get the brakes beat off of you. Meanwhile, at the Robertson unit near Abilene, Texas, 4 prisoners were beaten so badly that the brutality could not be covered up. Internal Affairs is investigating these crimes, which are akin to the fox investigating the chicken coop. Information on these cases is nearly impossible to come by because Texas prisocrats have cloaked the entire investigation in a shroud of secrecy. Perhaps the strangest case of all is at the Michaels unit in Tennessee Colony, Texas, where at least 6 prisoners were beaten and brutalized. The Anderson County District Attorney refused to prosecute the cases in spite of the serious violation of state law, which he has sworn to uphold. But why should we expect him to prosecute the good old boys that he drinks with and who vote him into office? He's probably the best thing that could have happened to us, because now the federal authorities have taken over the prosecution of 10 Michael unit prison guards in 6 separate cases of prison brutality. The real death camp is the Pulaski unit, just outside Livingston, Texas. The prisoners were terrorized by guards who attacked them sporadically for 7 hours. When the guard arrived in it, 30-year-old Michael McCoy lay dead, and prisoner Eric Robertson was suffering from a severe beating. Guards Alex Torres and Joel Lambright have been charged with murder. Both are free on $50,000 bond. Various charges have been filed against 4 other guards who went on a rampage riot with Torres and Lambright, and a total of 9 guards have been suspended. Only 3 days later, Anthony Thibodeau was murdered at the Pulaski unit. The guards first reported the 24-year-old black man had died when he had a seizure and hit his head on the floor. The autopsy determined that Thibodeau had been murdered, and the guards changed their story, saying that he was kicked to death by a gang of prisoners in the day room. The official cause of death was a brain hemorrhage due to ruptured esophagus. The guards now say that he was struck across the esophagus by one convict and fell to the floor. Then 6 inmates pounced on him, beating him unconscious. Whatever happened, no charges have been filed in Thibodeau's murder. The first of 4 recent murders at the Pulaski unit was the slaying of 22-year-old Paul Hernandez. Guards reported that Hernandez had been shaken down by a gang of prisoners who wanted him to join the gang. He died of massive head injuries. No charges have been filed. 23-year-old Randy Payne had his head split open by a steel-toe boot and died at Herman Hospital in Houston, never regaining conscious. His mother at his bedside. It took prison keepers 7 hours to get Payne to the hospital after his body was found. Prison officials have told Miss Payne that her son fought off 2 gangs of prisoners for nearly 2 hours because he refused to pay protection or become their punk. No charges were filed. These 4 murders happened at the Pulaski unit, a prison that opened in December of 1993 and was ballyhooed by prisocrats to be the dream prison, a state-of-the-art gulag costing $57 million and holding 2,250 poor people. Warden Keith Price boasts of its design and electronic eavesdropping capabilities, features that are supposed to allow guards to see into virtually every nook and cranny and even listen in on the convicts' conversation. These 4 murders have happened without the guards' complicity. We have learned that all 4 murders happened in the same maximum security section known as 7 building. And now we know why convicts call it go to heaven building. At least 3 and possibly all 4 murders occurred on the same duty shift. The investigation continues. Pulaski, it was so many assaults and stabbing. Now, what they're leaving out, these youngsters at Pulaski give as good as they receive. Every time guards attack an inmate, they turn and retaliate and attack a guard. When you go into breakfast at Pulaski or at some of the checkpoints, there's only one guard standing there. 5 or 10 of them youngsters ride up on him, they beat him down and rob him and stomp him out and leave him there and take out running. They ain't getting away with it. So when the guards catch an inmate, they call you, they go to the parole office, call you out for an interview. The guards return the favor and do the inmate the same way. They call you in to turn out, beat you up, and tell you, hey, go back down there and tell your punk gang homeboys what we did to you. Now, I got to say, at that prison, they retaliate. Now, McComb, I can't say what's happening at McComb, but they got lots of gang members at McComb. Where were they at? And I hear a lot of guys would come on my channel in the comment section and ask me, what about this gang? Well, what about it? You see what's happening? They ain't busting a grape. They only attack some poor guy who ain't got no backup or got no help. Now, he's subject to get attacked. If you can face gang members with close to equal numbers, they not going to do nothing. It's going to be some type of negotiation. It's not going to be anything. Because they know they can lose homeboys just as well as you can lose homeboys. So it's not caked up to all what everybody think it is. Now, they're dangerous in their own right. I got to give them that. You don't never underestimate them. Because you can get attacked from them and you'll never know where the attack is coming from. You sit in the chow hall, you don't know all these gang members. And one of them just walk up and start stabbing you. It can happen at any time. When you sit in the day room, you're not paying attention. You see a guy come over there off another cell block. You used to seeing that. In Texas prison, that's called falling out of place. It's a lot of reason why he might come out of another living area and come in your living area. Come over there to gamble. He got a homeboy he want to kick it to. He come over there to get some drugs or deliver some drugs or to fight. You so used to seeing it, you ain't paying attention. You done had a conflict with these guys 3 or 4 weeks ago and forgot about it. He's coming to get you. You sitting there watching TV or playing one of the table games, and you wake up in the prison infirmary with the back of your head knocked off. You know, they are dangerous in their own route. But I've known guys who stand on their own 2 feet are more dangerous than all the Texas gang members and can't even compete with these guys. They were man up alone. They didn't need no help. I look at an average gang member, if you take him one-on-one, he ain't about to do the squat. You put him out in that water by himself, he ain't nothing. Ain't but a few of them really can get down. The majority, that's why they join the gang. They need some help. I look at some guys, before they're a gang member, they sit back, they in the recruiting stage. And they just sit back just as quiet. And soon you can tell when one of them been selected to be a gang member, his chest gets stuck out. Now he start talking a little bit more. Now he's making eye contact with you. Man, those dudes ain't worth shit. What they did is messed up the whole Texas prison system. Those guys will have a lot more privileges than what they did if it wouldn't be for the gang. That was a perfect excuse the prison administration needed in Texas. Tell all the people, oh, we can't institute all these programs because we got to do something about all this violence. Because they were killing like it's going out of style in 83, 84, and 85 when they got rid of inmate guards. Texas was a slaughterhouse. Texas prison was straight up murder. They went from fist fighting, it's all about the murder game. So they would tell the public, we got to do something about this violence. So that took away all the programs, everything. They took it away. At one time, Texas had tons of programs. Now they ain't got nothing. You just do some old time. The men wear female clothes. Everybody got unisex clothes. Pants, you ain't got front pockets on your pants. Female inmates wear the same clothes the male inmates wear. Same thing. There's no parole. They been closed that down. It's a very few people make parole. They let just enough people go to control the population. They let just enough people go. It's no more revolving door. Used to be you had a 20-year sentence, you going to do a little over 2 years on it. You was going home if you didn't catch no disciplinary. You was out of the prison. Now, you catch a 20-year sentence, you might do all of it day for day. They don't care about your conduct record. What program you participate in, that don't mean doodly squat. I know guys been locked up over 30 years. They participate in all the programs, got college degrees, and ain't had disciplinary in 25 years. They ain't had disciplinary case. They still in prison because it's the nature and seriousness of offense. In my last video, I just did on Benjamin Spencer. That's what his parole denials was. Nature and seriousness of offense. They didn't give a shit about it, don't model inmate. That don't mean nothing. Like one warden told me and him was talking, he said, sometimes because a guy don't catch disciplinary, I don't mean he's a model inmate. Might just mean you's a coward. You scared to catch a disciplinary. That's what it might mean. You don't want to go to solitary. You scared to go to close custody. You scared to get a custody change to medium custody, where it's a little bit tougher than minimum custody. You sure don't want to go to close custody, where they fight every day. You don't want to go over there. So you might just be a coward while you're not catching disciplinary. I don't mean you no model inmate. They still looking at the crime you committed. They don't give it, a natural warden ain't going to tell you, a modern warden ain't going to tell you, hey, do what you want to do, like they would under the old system. Like a guy, I see a lot of guys go to a warden and say, hey, I need to change cell partners. Go to a warden and tell him, I'm going to kill my cell partner if you don't move him. Guess what he'll tell you? Go back and kill him. They call your bluff. They call your bluff. They know you not going to do it. If you was going to do it, you wouldn't have been up there talking. You'd came up there with a dead cell partner. You wouldn't did all that talking and negotiating. I was telling a youngster that, I say, I'm going to show you the difference. He complained about his cell partner. My cell partner don't clean up. He dirty. He this, he that. And I'm going to be, he didn't want to fight him because the youngster can fight pretty good. He know he might, possibility, he might get beat down himself, and the youngster might throw him out of the cell. I was telling him, I said, I'm going to show you the difference. I can go to the major and tell him, hey, you don't move this dude, I guarantee you I'm going back and kill him. He'll believe me because I done did it before. You ain't bust one grape here. He don't want to hear nothing you talking about. You talking about what you might do. I can go tell him what I already have did. He look at my record and look at yours, I guarantee you he'll give me a cell change. I guarantee you it's going to happen. All you about is a bunch of talk. You ain't going to walk that walk. Now, all these attacks by these guards, it show you they got all these gangs was there. What was they doing? Now, I got to give some of these guards credit. They know who some of the gang members are. They know if they would jump one of them, it's a possibility they get retaliated against. At Pulaski, I've seen them several times try them little young Crip guys, and they lose badly dealing with them. I got to give the Crips they credit. They retaliate every time. Every time they jump one of their homeboys, they come back and jump one of the prison guards at Pulaski. They started, youngsters guys instituted a policy. You see an inmate get jumped and you don't help him, don't come back no more. You can't come on this cell block. You go live with the warden. Don't come back here no more. So that kind of curtailed it at that prison. And Robinson, when I was there, it was a madhouse. The guards assault inmates. The inmates come right back and assault the guards. It went back and forth. It was a regular hellhole. Now, that was the only thing you could do at Robinson and you receive disciplinary is fight. They let you fight all day as long as you're killing each other. They don't care. They just stand there and look. Any other disciplinary, they're going to write you a disciplinary on. Except fighting. As long as the inmates is harming each other, you good to go. Y'all follow me over on Patreon. The link will be in the description. And y'all ain't been smashing up them likes, man. I need my likes. I don't know what's the matter. Just hit the damn like button. What's the matter with that? I ain't asking too much. I tell you what. I still got this motherfucking shank. I still got it. Better hit them motherfucking likes. That bullshit. Like and subscribe. I'm tired of talking. Fuck this shit.